Hello students, today I am going to explain you important terms and concepts of the chapter motion. So those terms are first reference point, rest and motion, types of motion, scalar and vector quantities, distance and displacement, uniform and non-uniform motion, speed, velocity, acceleration, graphical representation of motion, equations of uniform accelerated motion and uniform circular motion. So first I am taking the reference point. So reference point is used to tell us about the state of any object, whether the body is in motion or in a resting stage. तो जो भी हमें describe करना है तो उसके लिए we need a reference point. It can also be defined as a place or object used to describe the position or motion of another object. Next I am taking the rest and motion. So rest is defined as the when a body does not change its position with respect to its surroundings और reference point मतलब body अपनी position change नहीं करती है with respect to its surrounding और reference point it always remains in the stationary position. So that state is known as the resting stage. Next is the motion. When the body changes its position with respect to its surrounding, जब body अपनी position change करती है with respect to the surroundings or the reference point, then it is termed as that body is in motion. Now motion is relative in nature. So for this I am going to explain you an example like two persons sitting in a moving train are not in motion with respect to each other. Remember this, they are sitting in a moving train. वो एक moving train में बैठे हुए हैं with and they are not in motion. They are sitting on their seats in their compartments. But with respect to the person standing on the platform, they appear to move. लेकिन the person who is standing on the platform उसके लिए वो move करते हुए appear होंगे because they are sitting in a moving train. So hence motion is not absolute, it is always relative in nature. Now we are moving to the next types of motion. So first I am taking the linear motion. Linear motion is also known as the straight line motion. So straight line motion of a body is known as the linear motion. When the body is moving in a straight line, then that type of motion is known as the linear motion. Second one is the circular motion. So the motion of an object in a circular path, जब कोई भी बॉडी एक सर्कुलर पाथ में मूव करती है तो दैट टाइप ऑफ मोशन इज नोन एज द सर्कुलर मोशन. नेक्स्ट इज द स्केलर एंड वेक्टर क्वांटिटी. तो फर्स्ट आई एम टेकिंग स्केलर क्वांटिटी. Scalar quantities are those quantities which shows only the magnitude. Magnitude means only the numerical values. The quantities which gives only the numerical values. So those quantities are known as scalar quantities like distance, time, volume, speed, temperature, work, etc. It shows only the numerical value means number values जो हमें बताते हैं. तो those quantities are known as the scalar quantities. Next is the vector quantities. So the physical quantities that depends upon magnitude as well as the direction. So they are represented by putting arrow on their symbol. Means ऐसी physical quantities जो सिर्फ magnitude बताती है as well as direction भी बताती है. Means numerical number value के साथ साथ directions भी बताती है. Such type of values are known as vector quantities. और जितनी भी vector quantities होती हैं उनके ऊपर ये arrow put करा जाता है. So the examples of vector quantities are displacement, force, velocity, weight, acceleration, etc. So all these are the examples of vector quantities. So you can also see in this picture, यहाँ पर given है for the scalar quantities only the numerical value is given, but in this the vector quantity with the numerical value direction is also given. So it shows the scalar and vector quantities. Now next topic is the distance and displacement. So distance is defined as the total path covered by the body in any direction. कि total path body ने कितना cover करा, तो that is known as the distance. So its formula is distance is equals to total path covered or traveled by the body is known as the distance. Its unit is meter and it can never be zero. कभी भी zero नहीं होता है. Remember this. It is a scalar quantity because it gives only the magnitude, only the number values. So it is considered as a scalar quantities. Next is the displacement. So displacement, the shortest path covered by the body, or we can say that the shortest path in particular direction is called displacement. It is represented by S. Its SI unit is meter. It is a vector quantity. Vector quantity which shows the magnitude as well as the direction. So displacement is considered as a vector quantities. It can be zero. Displacement zero हो सकता है when the initial and final positions are same. जब initial means starting position और ending position दोनों same होगी तो it can be zero. Next is the uniform and non-uniform motion. Uniform motion when the body covers equal distance in equal interval of time. जब बॉडी इक्वल डिस्टेंस कवर करती है इक्वल इंटरवल ऑफ टाइम में तो सच टाइप ऑफ मोशन इज नॉन एज यूनिफॉर्म मोशन. नॉन यूनिफॉर्म मोशन when body covers unequal distance in equal interval of time, means it covers unequal distance. So that type of motion is known as non-uniform motion. Next is speed. Speed is defined as the distance traveled by the body with respect to the time in any direction. Speed is defined as the distance, मतलब कितना distance body ने cover करा with respect to the time. So that is considered as the speed, and it is represented as V. Its formula is speed is equals to distance upon time, and its SI unit is meter per second. Remember, it can also be written like this: meter upon second or meter second minus 1. Both are same. तो आप इन दोनों में से कुछ भी लिखेंगे, दोनों में से कोई एक भी लिखेंगे, you will get the full marks. Next, it is a scalar quantity. Again, it shows only the magnitude. Next is the average speed. It is defined as the total distance traveled by the body divided by total time taken to cover the distance. Means the total distance traveled by the body. जब बॉडी ने जितना भी डिस्टेंस कवर करा है उसे हम प्लस कर देंगे और डिवाइडेड बाय टोटल टाइम. तो जितना भी टाइम लगा है हर एक उस बॉडी को मूव करने में अलग अलग जगह में जितना टाइम लगा और जितना डिस्टेंस कवर करा है उसको हम लेके वी कैन फाइंड आउट द एवरेज स्पीड. So speed of any object can also be measured with the help of the speedometer. You can see in your vehicles also, car, scooters and other two-wheeler, three-wheelers. In all the vehicles you can see here there is a speedometer which is used to determine the speed of any object. Next one is velocity. So speed in given direction means speed with direction is known as the velocity. Its SI unit is meter per second, and it is a vector quantity because it shows the direction also. And average velocity, it is the ratio of the total displacement to the total time. So its formula can also be written like this: total displacement upon total time. And average velocity का second formula है, that is u plus v upon 2. As I told you earlier, u represents the initial velocity, v represents the final velocity divided by 2. Next term is the acceleration. So it is the change in velocity of the body per unit time, or in easy term हम ये भी बता सकते हैं the rate of change of velocity. If there is a change in velocity is known as the acceleration. So acceleration को हम कैसे बताएंगे? The change in velocity upon time, or acceleration is represented by A, or change in velocity v minus u. V represents again here the final velocity, u is the initial velocity, and t is the time. The SI unit of acceleration is meter per second square, and it is a vector quantity because it shows the magnitude as well as the direction. Now there are different types of accelerations are there. First I am taking the retardation. Retardation कब बोलेंगे? When the velocity decreases with time. जब वेलोसिटी डिक्रीज करती है, मतलब वेलोसिटी कम हो जाती है किसी भी व्हीकल की या किसी भी ऑब्जेक्ट की, देन द एक्सेलरेशन इज नेगेटिव एंड इट इज कॉल्ड रिटार्डेशन और नेगेटिव एक्सेलरेशन. And when velocity is constant means when the body is not moving, it is in the resting stage. So at that time there is no change in the velocity. So at that time the acceleration will be taken as 0. and when the velocity of body changes by equal interval of time, then the motion is uniformly accelerated motion. वेलोसिटी जो है बॉडी की वो इक्वल इंटरवल ऑफ टाइम में कंटिन्यूसली इक्वली चेंज हो रही है, देन द मोशन is uniformly accelerated motion. Now we are moving to the next, that is graphical representation of motion. So the distance time graph पढ़ेंगे हम इसमें. So the graph in case the object is stationary, तो उसके अंदर किस टाइप का ग्राफ बनेगा? You can see in this picture. See, on y axis we have taken the distance and on x axis we have taken the time, and we get a straight parallel line, है ना. तो such type of graph is plotted when the object is in stationary position. Next is the graph in case of the uniform motion, that is we will get a straight line graph. Next, the graph in case of non-uniform motion, then we get the two types of graph here, the curved line graph or the zigzag line graph. These graphs represents the non-uniform motion. Next is the velocity time graph. So velocity time graph for uniform acceleration, such type of graph will be plotted, but always remember on y axis we will take velocity and on x axis we will take time, and again we will get a straight line graph. Next is for zero acceleration for uniform retardation. So we will get such type of graphs for uniform retardation and for zero acceleration. Again it is these graphs are plotted between the velocity and time. Next is the equations of motion. There are three equations of motions. First is v is equals to u plus at, s is equals to ut plus half at square. Third is the 2as is equals to v square minus u square, where u is the initial velocity, v is the final velocity, a is the acceleration, t is the time, s is the distance covered by the body. And all the three equations in all the three equation we can use this single graph. हम यही graph को use करेंगे for taking out all the three equations, and the explanations of all the three equations are there's a link is given in the description box में एक link है, तो आप वहाँ जाएंगे, you will get the complete explanation and easy explanations of equations of motion. Next I am moving to the uniform circular motion. So if a body moves in a circular path with uniform speed, as the name indicates, uniform circular motion. So when the body moves in a circular motion, but with which type of speed? Uniform speed. So such type of motion is known as the uniform circular motion. You can also see in this graph, body is moving in a circular path but with the यूनिफॉर्म स्पीड, सेम स्पीड के साथ बॉडी सर्कुलर पाथ के अंदर मूव करे, तो सच टाइप ऑफ मोशन is known as uniform circular motion. It is also known as the accelerated motion. And why it is known as accelerated motion? Because body continuously changes direction. You can see in this arrow also कि the body is with the motion, circular motion, it is changing its position, direction. Next is uniform circular motion. Examples are there. So the motion of a satellite in its orbit, the motion of planets around the sun. So these are the example, and there are many other examples of uniform circular motions are also there. Next is the velocity. If we have to find out the velocity of a circular path or the track, तो हम कैसे find out करेंगे? Simply we will put the formula distance upon time, where distance is equivalent to the circumference of the circle. So circumference of the circle divided by time, and the circumference of the circle is given by 2 pi r upon t, where v is the velocity of the object, r is the radius, and t is the time taken by the object. So thank you. That's all for today. Thank you for watching the video.